जय हिंद दोस्तों। आज मेरा बहुत बड़ा सौभाग्य है कि मैं एक ऐसी शख्सियत के साथ गुफ्तगू में होऊंगा भाई, जो तारुफ के किसी तरीके से दूर दूर तक मोहताज नहीं है। आप सब इनको जानते हैं, इनको सराहते हैं, चाहते हैं। आप सब इनसे इंस्पायर होते हैं। बहुत से हमारे देश के यंगस्टर्स हैं जो इनको इनको ही देख के, केवल इनको ही देख के फौज में आना चाहते हैं। और इनकी जो कहानी है दोस्तों, इतनी ज्यादा इंस्पायरिंग है। आप सुनिए, मैं कुछ अब एक लाइन में बताऊंगा, बाकी इसके बाद मैं ज्यादा बात नहीं करूंगा। आप सोचिए, एक छोटा सा लड़का अल्मोड़ा के गांव से, बल्कि मैं तो बोलूंगा वहां के कस्बे से, वहां से निकल कर आया 6वीं क्लास में। इन्होंने जिन्होंने हिंदी सीखी, अंग्रेजी सीखी, उसके बाद फिर भी, इसके बाद ABCD मतलब बेसिक्स, उसके बाद भी, मगर फिर भी कई बार फेलियर्स भी हुए, गिरे, लेकिन सबसे जरूरी बात है, हार नहीं मारी दोस्तों, हार नहीं मानी। और एक चीज इन्होंने बहुत जल्दी जिंदगी में पकड़ ली कि भाई, यू कैन बी टेक्निकली साउंड, आपको चीजें आती हैं, लेकिन अगर आपको अंग्रेजी नहीं आएगी तो आपको कहीं पे भी सिलेक्शन नहीं होगा यूनिवर्सली, बिकॉज इट्स अ यूनिवर्सल लैंग्वेज। एंड thereafter the boy went out from the home to become, very interestingly, and underworld dawn. So आप लोग बहुत सोचे क्या? Yes, who left home very early in life, in his teens, to become an underworld dawn. मगर वो फौज में आए, उन्हें भर्ती देखी as a recruit, that is the lowest rank in the army, in the armed forces, as a सिपाही, as a जवान। मगर उनकी मेहनत, मुशक्कत, जज्बे, जुनून और हौसले से उन्होंने बाद में कमीशन प्राप्त करी, प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया कमीशन। जब ये ऑफिसर बने, और ऑफिसर ही नहीं बने, ये जनरल ऑफिसर बने। भाई, मैं तो केवल 2 मेजर जनरल्स को जानता हूं, केवल, एंड जनरल कुकरेती एंड ऑफ कोर्स जनरल भकुनी। एंड दूर दूर तक, हालांकि आई डोंट नो, मेरा ऐसा मानना है कि शायद ही कोई होगा ऐसा। मगर क्या प्रेरणा है उसके बाद। he retired from the army as the president of the SSB board. We will come to that as well. And today he is a very, very successful entrepreneur, helping out people, and what contribution towards the society, giving back to the society in such a noble way. सर, मैं आपके बारे में बहुत बोल सकता हूं, मगर मैंने ऑलरेडी 3 मिनट ले लिए हैं सर। शुक्रिया बहुत बहुत हमारे लिए वक्त निकालने के लिए, एंड जय हिंद सर।
Thank you, Mohammed, for this wonderful introduction. You have really brought out most of the facts, though I will only differ in one fact that my journey of life is actually the journey of failures. The only thing I learned lessons from the failures, otherwise, I have seen the rock bottom, and after that, I really enjoyed the rise from the rock bottom also. That was the most beautiful part. So, thank you for this wonderful introduction, and whatever are your questions, I'm ready to answer them, friend.
थैंक यू वेरी मच सर। सर, आपने बहुत जबरदस्त बोला, द जर्नी ऑफ फेलियर्स। तो बहुत लोग अपनी सक्सेस स्टोरी बताते हैं और बोलते हैं हम ये हैं, हम फने खां हैं, हमने तीर मारे, हमने ये किया, हमने वो किया। आपने जिस तरीके से शुरुआत करी है, द जर्नी ऑफ फेलियर्स, और उसी से इंसान गिर गिर के सीखता है, उसी से सर। आई जस्ट वॉन्ट टू नो योर जर्नी अगेन, आपकी जबानी सर। बचपन में, when you were as a child and you did not speak Hindi, you did not speak English, you knew only पहाड़ी, और आपके जो आसपास के लोग थे, जहां पे आई नो फॉर अ फैक्ट यू बीन अ वेरी वेरी आउटस्टैंडिंग स्पोर्ट्समैन। आप जब बचपन पे फुटबॉल खेला करते थे सर, तो आपके आसपास के लोग पहाड़ी केवल बोला करते थे, या उनको हिंदी भी आती थी सर?
Dear Mohammed, yes, you are right. Actually, in village we used to only speak our Kumaoni Pahadi language. So completely Pahadi. In fact, I had a face-to-face encounter with Hindi language. So we used to feel little shy because Pahadi is a little bit like Hindi, but not pure Hindi. And anybody who can't speak in Hindi used to be a little bit looked down upon in the childhood. So the journey starts from a remote village of Kirakot, which is the village of Bhakunis. There are three villages, Sal, Bung, and Kirakot, a small area near Chanoda. So one inspiring thing happened in very childhood. I think that was responsible for this long and beautiful adventurous journey of my life. Everyone from my village virtually wanted to become a Jawan in the army. And there were many of them, retired, small village, retired and serving. There were about 35 of them in a small village. And if you ask the neighboring villages, oh my God, everybody from that valley was in the army. So one day the older lot were talking about. I was in, I think, class three. I was going to be in class four. So they were discussing there are so many Jawans in this area. Must be around to the tune of 400. But there is no one officer in the army. So they were discussing. So I was also hearing. I thought about it, and somehow this idea came. I will be that officer. So they were saying there is no officer from their man. I will be that officer. So this was the. I loved army because these Jawans used to come on leave, used to give us beautiful gift. We used to go to the house whenever a Jawan will come. हमारे वहाँ उसको बोलते हैं चना एंड गुड़, चाणगुड़, पहाड़ी में बोलते हैं उसको चाणगुड़. चलो चाणगुड़ खां जानो हो महाराज. तो वी यूज्ड टू गो टू द जवान्स हाउस. तो गुड़ और चना देते थे, रिवाज है. और ये गांव में अभी भी रिवाज है. कैन यू बिलीव इट? होली में गुड़, और अगर कोई आ जाता है चना और गुड़ वो डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करेगा. तो वी यूज्ड टू गो एंड वी यूज्ड टू वेरी हैप्पी टू मीट फौजीज बिकॉज दे यूज्ड टू गिव इट लिबरली. So that love for the armed forces started, and that aim, that passion for it, for to become an officer started in the mind. But as you rightly said, when I came sixth class, thank God, my eldest brother brought me to Almora. And I think the journey really starts from there. In Almora, so I was little hesitant, little shy, difficult to mix up. Hindi speaking was a taboo. Gradually picked up. It didn't take much time. I think within 4 to 6 months, I was speaking good Hindi. And we learned ABCD. Oh my God, this I know. I used to be scared in the class. If by chance in 6th and 7th class, the teacher makes me get up and tells me to read a Hindi stanza, I couldn't read that. So I had to work hard now in English as well. So little bit I picked up, but I hated English. Anyway, the journey started from there, this love for the armed forces. So I used to read anything about the army. Can you believe it? Whenever I will see an army Jawan, I used to keep looking at him. Those days, a lot of exercises used to happen in Uttarakhand. So whenever the Jawans, either vehicles or they themselves are passing by the road, I used to look at them, enjoy watching them. And can you believe it? Once I was sent to bring milk because some guest had come to घर में चाय बनानी थी उनके लिए. तो चाय बनानी थी उनके लिए, मैं दूध के लिए गया और आर्मी के जवान गुजर रहे थे. मैं सब कुछ भूल गया उसमें. आई रिमेंबर आई वाज इन क्लास 7th. कैन यू बिलीव इट? एंड दे वर गोइंग. आई केप्ट काउंटिंग देम. And that, oh my God, long queue of Jawans going for an exercise. I reached home, I got a solid beating. The guest had left. So it was the love for the armed forces, the olive green was so much. And I think that kept me alive. And I used to go to, in Almora, there is a place called Paltan Bazaar, Paltan Ground. And there is an army unit. And I used to be very fond of going to that area. And I used to see the Jawans standing in the quarter guard and all that. In fact, my friends used to ask, yeah, why you like so much and all that. I remember there was a friend of mine, Chandan was his name. He said, यार अगर तेरे को हम डीसी बना दें, ये बना दें. मैंने कहा तुम प्रेसिडेंट भी बना दो ना, लेकिन मैं उसके लिए भी मना कर दूंगा. मैं ये ग्रीन यूनिफॉर्म के लिए, यू कैन गिव मी एनीथिंग. यस, ऑफिसर बना दो, मैं ऑफिसर बन जाऊंगा, लेकिन it has to be the green uniform. I think that passion ultimately made me a success in life. That passion and love for the olive green, and that love only made me a general officer. a genuine love for the uniform. Yeah. So that was the beginning, my friend.
My goodness, sir, my goodness, that is so inspiring. So ये बताइए, one side passion for the olive green to become a soldier who's so law abiding, and on the other side you ran away from home, you went out, you left home in fact to become an underworld don. टिटड़े! वो कहाँ से वो inspiration कि अमिताभ बच्चन मूवी से निकला, डॉन and all those movies, और कहाँ से निकला सर वो inspiration?
And that's why, my dear Muhammad, that's why I said ki life has been of utter failures, numerous failures. You know, एक तो इंग्लिश का ये inferiority complex, and after that I fell into a bad company. I used to sometimes stay in hostel, sometime at home, away from parents. We used to stay in a rented quarter, in one room, kitchen kind of house, and we initially three brothers, then two brothers used to stay in that, and there was no supervision. I fell into a bad company, to be honest. Somehow I learned smoking. I used to feel great. And second thing, I learned gambling. That was the worst phase of my life. I virtually, a lot of movies used to come, Bollywood movies of gambling. A great gambler was also a movie. So I never used to, my hostel was just next to the picture hall. I never left any movie. Can you believe it? Sholay I saw 9 times. Bobby in those days I saw 14 times. So I used to just go, and frankly speaking, those gatekeepers, I used to give them, the ticket used to be for 90 paisa, I used to give them 50 paisa. So I used to get into the thing and watch the movie time and time and again. Sometimes they made me sit freely also. So it was like this. Never left any movie, got into gambling very badly, got into smoking very badly, got into a real bad company. Thank God there was no drugs those days. Otherwise, perhaps, one never knows. So now getting into this, I failed. Virtually, there was a situation came, I was about to be rusticated. I was told by the principal, you cannot appear in the exam. And half yearly, I was a 10th first divisioner. I did well in 10th. In 11th, in half yearly, I had 1 mark in physics out of 100, 10 marks in mathematics. So it was virtually no go. So that made me very depressed. Bad company, family condition was also very bad that time. The family pressures were there. I can't all describe that. So I was going through a very bad patch of my life. For three days, I used to be in the gambling day because father used to send every month 180 rupees for us. And there was occasions where I lost half of them in the gambling. So this was a very bad phase of the life. So, and I went for NDA exam. I gave a written exam of the NDA, went to Delhi because of the love for the army. When I appeared there, except little bit of, the whole paper was in English, and the person who was conducting the exam was speaking English. There was nothing I could understand. I came back further more depressed. I thought my dream is shattering. And that time I was not fit to become a Jawan also because of the height, weight, chest, etc. Those things. Anyway, to cut the story short, I saw other side. I thought it's very difficult. NDA exam particularly depressed me. I thought there is no go. On top of that, I failed in 12th class. Now there was no way that I could have succeeded in life. All dreams were shattered, and I was moreover in this bad company. So that is the time I thought, if I can't do this, so some dialogue of some movie, either Desh Rakshak or Seth Bhakshak. So that kind of typical glamorized dialogues we used to pick up from here and there. So I also thought ultimately so many used to become underworld don. So along with a friend of mine to become a don and स्मगलिंग शुरू हो गई थी उसमें नेपाल बॉर्डर से बहुत स्मगलिंग होती थी सो आई लेफ्ट होम टू बिकम ए डॉन सो दैट वाज द बट दैट जर्नी was so difficult. Oh my God. I realized at the end of that journey, becoming officer is far, far easier than becoming a don. Let me tell you this. It is worst thing one can think of. It is unlucky people who venture into this line. I learned this lesson. And from there, this lesson came in my mind very firmly, though, because I was about to be taken to the police station. I was crying, very bad condition I went through virtually. And what a coincidence, when I was about to be taken to the police station, and there was an army convoy going through, and some of the Jawans got, one of the JSU got, one of the NSU got down. Can you believe they saved me? पता नहीं आर्मी से क्या रिश्ता था ना मालूम, देखो मेरे को उसी ओलिव ग्रीन के लोगों ने बचाया। उन्होंने बोले बच्चे ने क्या क्या है ऐसा। यस, मैंने क्या किया था, एक होटल में हम रहे
मैं जानता हूँ सर
तीन
वो
चार।
कहानी।
हाँ
होटल में आओ, आपके दोस्त बालकनी से
हाँ
सामान फेंक के
हाँ,
आप भागे
फेंक
वहां से,
करके
निकल गए।
उसका बिल
एंड
नहीं दिया
एंड
था।
द होटल ओनर आल्सो वाज एन एक्स सर्विसमैन।
Ex-serviceman, he was a Havaldar. I still remember his name. He's from DD Hart, Havaldar Ram Singh. What a coincidence! Yeah, life के coincidences ना. So and he was to take us up because 4 दिन का bill भी काफी होता है, 3-4 दिन का bill अब पता नहीं कितना था ना मालूम. I don't know. It was not too much, but he was helping to take us to the police station. And these army people saved me. Oh my God. And then that journey thereafter, virtually it was more than 70 kilometers, I think around 84 odd kilometers from there, walking all the way to Bageshwar. Oh my
ये
God. So,
पिथौरागढ़ के आसपास हुआ था सर ये किस्सा।
hey,
दिस वाज नियर पिथौरागढ़ इफ आई एम नॉट मिस्टेकन।
yes, Pitharagad, DD Hart, and from there I was planning to go to the cross the Nepal border. But see
यस
this
यस।
रास्ते में ये चीजें हुई, फिर then I turned back to Bageshwar. I thought then by then I had learned the lessons. It was already 7-8 days, and we were hungry because you know we couldn't even, भूखे थे लेकिन हमने कहीं भीख नहीं मांगी, कहीं खाना, एक दो गार्डन से फल फूल चुराए, सब्जी चुराई, वही खाई। तो बड़ी मुश्किल की जर्नी से अंत में, ओ माय गॉड, हाउ वी केम इज ए काइंड ऑफ इंटरेस्टिंग जर्नी, बट आई लर्न एंड दैट मेड मी वेरी टफ। I realized कि Bhakuni, nothing worse than this happened to you, can happen to you. And that's why I, after that, remained generally happy in life, generally positive in life. Positivity and liveliness became part and parcel of my life. सो नथिंग वर्स देन दैट दिस कैन हैपन। मैंने कहा अभी यहाँ से जो है ऊपर ही होगा हमारा ग्राफ, चाहे कुछ हो जाए। मैंने कहा 1 साल फेल हो जाऊंगा, और फेल हो गया। मैं वहां से आया, एग्जाम में फेल हो गया, होना ही था, कोई बात नहीं। बट आफ्टर द फेल्योर ऑफ 12th taught me a lot of lessons. I don't know where did I pick up this from. I used to read some personality development books. I still was wondering, can you believe it? The result came on 30th of June 1976. I had failed. And on 1st of July, I started writing my diary. And till now, I write my diary. 1st of July 1976, till date, I write my diary. So this habit came, and this was the hallmark. I think this was the turning point. I think whatever little I have learned in life, it is by writing the diary. I used to write my goal. I used to write down my plan. I used to write down my program. If I am depressed, I used to write in that. So I don't know. I'm thankful to the person. I don't remember who taught me this. Where did I read it? But this habit started, and this habit saw me through till date. I do that. So, and thereafter it was because I knew that nothing worse this can happen to me. I was reasonably good sportsman. I focused thereafter on sports and this thing. So can you believe next 1 year was nothing but hard work, dedication, determination, devotion. I never went into any bad company, never smoked, focus on the sports. I became a champion in the college. I was a football captain next year. And I was 400, 800, 1500 meter runner. And I was a marathon runner in the district. And sixth position I had got. And thereafter, there was a NCC camp in which a lot of NCC directorate has participated. In that cross country, I was first. So, and in NCC, I became senior under officer. So I had achievement. And I was pretty sure that I will get first division also in the 12th because I had really worked hard. but I missed it. I missed it by about 20 marks, to be exact, 20 marks. To 56% I got out of 280 out of 500. By 20 marks I had missed. So, and I had said if I become first, get first, I will join the BSc. If I don't, I will join the army. I think the decision was clear cut in my mind. I missed first division. Next day, can you believe it? I was in the recruiting office next day. And this apprentice training exam was being conducted. It was those days little difficult, not too easy, because it was a Jawan in the corps of EME, a technical soldier. For that, there was a written test. And for that, there was an interview in Bhopal. And it was exclusive, that time Russian equipment was coming. They were getting a special class of these tradesmen they were training. So I got through in that and joined as an apprentice in apprentice training school Bhopal on 28th of September 1977. That's how the journey of army began thereafter.
सर, टेल मी अबाउट योर ट्रेनिंग डेज एज अ रिक्रूट। जब आपने भर्ती देखी, पहले बात अपनी सिलेक्शन के बारे में बताइए, क्योंकि मैं खुद जब मैं मेयर साहब था फ्रॉम नागालैंड, आई फ्रॉम द असम राइफल्स, आई वाज सेंट टू जोधपुर भर्ती देखने के, वहां पे भर्ती करनी थी, एंड वी सॉ एक से एक टफ लोग। तो इतना मुश्किल था हमारे लिए, ऐसे जावा से जोश टाइप लोग आए थे, सबके सब फिट थे। अब सर सबके सब फिट थे, बट इतना मुश्किल हो गया था हमारे लिए फॉर द सिलेक्शन कमिटी कि हम कैसे इनमें से चुने हम। सो टेल मी फर्स्टली अबाउट योर सिलेक्शन, जब आप भर्ती देखने गए, वो एक्सपीरियंस एंड योर ट्रेनिंग एज अ रिक्रूट। कैरेट तो बाद में आएंगे सर, आईएमए की बात बाद में आएंगे। फर्स्ट टेल मी
Yeah,
अबाउट योर। जी सर।
sure. Now what happened? Let me tell you, this recruitment was slightly different. Can you believe there was an all India written exam for this? Because I said the Russian equipment was coming. They wanted some good technicians for that. So there was a written exam. So because of that, the crowd was less because hardly anybody could. We were only two people from Almora who cleared that exam. I still remember me and Bhajan Singh. Bhajan Singh Bist, I still remember his name. He also got commissioned later in 14 Punjab. See this, I still remember. I have seen him till about Lieutenant Colonel rank. So we two went for the interview all the way to Bhopal. And interview was also tough.
He also was from the ranks. He also joined as a Jawan, is it?
He also joined as a Jawan. We both joined as a recruit, as a Jawan, but in the core of EME as a technical soldier. So the crowd wasn't that much because only for this exam, something like Navy, there was a written exam before. So because of that, that kind of, as you are 100% right, that kind of crowd was not there because written exam was before. So because of that, few people could only qualify in this. So, and then in interview was in Bhopal and we got selected and we were retained. Some of others who couldn't clear the interview, they went back. Now this apprentice training school, as you rightly said, the recruitment, recruit's life is pretty tough, pretty busy. But let me tell you, for me, it was like an NDA. In the sense, that I was waiting for this kind of life. It was tough, but I enjoyed this toughness. I was a good sportsman, so I used to be always singled out to play football matches, to take part in athletics. I started doing debates now. There was a debate competition. I got selected for that. I represented apprentice training school in 3 Center, Bhopal, and got second prize in that. So I was also, because of my extracurricular activities, I was involved in numerous activities and generally did well. So I was one of the, you can call it an apprentice who excelled in every field. So this was most memorable time for me. And not only that, I did my BA as a private student. That was the best part. I remember once, BA, nobody used to think those days. Some of us used to go for, as a recruit, going for the BA was a difficult proposition. But my aim was very clear. I remember in the first few days only, within a month only, in our open picture hall, I still remember that day very distinctly. Me and Bhajan Singh were sitting together with couple of more apprentices. So I always used to talk about the IMA, always used to talk about the commission usually. So I told them, यार ट्रेनिंग तो यहाँ हो जाएगी, भर्ती के लिए हम इधर आ गए हैं, लेकिन पास आउट आईएमए से होंगे. मैंने कहा दैट इज माई, आई स्टिल रिमेम्बर भजन सिंह.
Bhajan Singh and others do not believe you, but you
They
believe yourself.
couldn't, they
But you believe
couldn't.
yourself.
Yeah, and भजन सिंह sat and they looked at me कि ये क्या बोल रहा है यार ये. मतलब ऐसा लगता था कि ये चीज जो है हवा में है. But I used to distinctly see this, definitely, very, very clearly. So I did my BA privately, and how I did privately, I don't want to tell you. It was such a difficult journey that going for the exam, doing the training. Oh my God, I still remember that day Bhopal University those days just got shifted to a far away place. I used to have cycle and go to the university, which used to take an hour and a half to reach there. Filling the form, etc. 2 3 times it happened. I was about to give in, and on top of that, you don't get permission from apprentice training school. One CO came. I still remember his name, Lieutenant Colonel R.K. Kohli. He said nobody will go for the exam. Stopped. But see this now, since I had filled up with due process, can you believe it? I went putting the dangri. Dangri is a technical soldier's dress. I put on that dress. Inside, I was putting on a civil dress. I went, I virtually, you can call it, you go without any permission sanction. I took the risk. Manaka, I'm ready to go to quarter guard, but I have to be a final from here. So I went, took off my uniform after going to the boundary of the apprentice training school, hid my dress in a jungle there. I still remember a wall, took out a stone and put my dress there, went, appeared in the exam, came back. Next day, same thing happened. Next day, same thing happened. I was ready to get caught and do this thing because my argument was I have taken the permission with due this thing and you are changing the rule in between, you can't go. So I somehow was, and I think there was a blessing of a Subedar in that. I still remember his name, Jeet Singh, who used to play football. He was in the football team, I was in the football team. He said, okay, are you ready to take risk? I said, yes. You go, we'll try to save you, but we can't help you. You know the CEO, he will put you in the quarter guard. मैंने कहा मंजूर है मुझे. So that kind of life I led, and I did my BA. While doing the BA final, I cracked the CTS exam. You can imagine as a recruit preparing for that. But somehow, if you love, if you have passion for your goal, you tend to enjoy that. We used to have a study room there. So I used to go to the study room and I hardly used to find anyone, but I used to sit there. Because in barrack, so many people studying, it was very difficult to study. So I used to study there. And me only used to switch off that light. And later on, what the session did is that you remain in the study room, you become study room in charge also. They made me in charge. Just होता ना फौज में तो तुम्हें इसकी मेंटेनेंस करेगा, इसी को देखेगा गौरव करके. मैंने कहा ओ माय गॉड, इट इज अ ड्रीम काइंड ऑफ जॉब. ये तो मैं उसका इंचार्ज ही था. I used to go whenever I used to feel like doing a bit of study. I used to open the study room and study there. Nobody could stop me now. So that was a good thing happened in a way. So, and I cleared the CTS exam, written exam. But after that, I went to 11 SSB Allahabad. So CTS was a civil exam. Here I was a recruit. And everybody, all smart guys in the group, oh my God, speaking. And I used to hate English. I had a wrong impression till then कि यार हिंदी कॉन्फिडेंटली बोलने से पास हो जाऊंगा. मैं हिंदी में डिबेट देता था मैं. अब वहां गए, people started in the group discussion also, Gaurav. I gave my interview also in Hindi because I couldn't speak a line in English. And यहाँ जो है, everybody was speaking in English, so I spoke confidently. And from my standard, I did very well. I knew the subject and spoke very, very well. And I was still confident that on the result day I will qualify. and the result was announced, and my name was not there. I failed. Oh my God, it was shock to me. So when I failed in the interview, I still didn't realize it was because of the Hindi. तो आई वॉज थिंकिंग कि क्यों फेल हुआ मैंने अच्छा किया है इंटरव्यू में सारे क्वेश्चन के जवाब दिए हैं इंक्लूडिंग जनरल नॉलेज ये और सारे जीटीओ टास्क मैंने एक्टिवली पार्टिसिपेटेड आई टू स्पीक इन हिंदी बट कॉन्फिडेंटली बिकॉज कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं थी कहीं भी एनसीसी का सीनियर ऑर्डर ऑफिसर था कोई ऐसा इशू नहीं था कहीं भी कोई इशू नहीं था
वैसे भी इलाहाबाद
एंड
की बोर्ड को रिजेक्शन सेंटर के नाम से जाना जाता है।
I also, the same experience was mine, though I later on I realized when I became a commandant and a president, it is, a wrong saying actually. It is not exactly that. Anyway, so now I came back. I was thinking, but those days nobody to guide. किससे पूछें कि भैया क्यों फेल हुआ क्या हुआ कैसे पूछें अब नाउ ऑफिसर से बात करना was most difficult thing. There used to be hardly 4 or 5 officers in the apprentice training school. So now what happened? I used to teach football to two students. One of the students' father was a GTO in Bhopal SSB. Look at that. तो भोपाल एसएसबी में था आई स्टिल रिमेंबर हिज नेम मेजर जोशी वाज हिज नेम मैंने और उससे पूछा मैंने योर फादर इज ए जीटीओ हाँ सर तो मैंने कहा कैन आई मीट हिम फॉर 15 minutes so this is what happened and he organized the meeting since I was his guru in football I was teaching him so and I was making him fit for IMA again look at that what a coincidence मैं उसको physically fit कर रहा हूँ और खुद IMA दे रहा हूँ IMA वाले को ही train कर रहा हूँ तो उसका बेटा जो है IMA के लिए ट्राई कर रहा था So, अब मैं उसके फादर से मिला one of the evenings and I talked to him. He was a GTO, serving GTO, Major Shah. बातचीत के दौरान जब मैंने पूरी कहानी बताई, he said a dialogue. I think I must have repeated this dialogue many times, but this dialogue really had a great impact on me. He said, "Bhakuni, you failed just because of your Hindi." And he further said, if you can't speak in English, even God can't help you. Oh my God. He says, there is no way. Don't run away from it. Anyway, I left his home. My God. I remember I walked few steps, little went away from his home. A guy who used to hate English, In fact, I used to be so many marches I used to be a part of. English bhagao, desh bachao. As a children, we used to carry banner.
साउथ में मार्च रिलीजम साउथ में कि हिंदी अगेन हिंदी और नॉर्थ में
Yeah,
अगेंस्ट इंग्लिश
against English. तो मैं भी उसमें से था somehow दिमाग में बैठ गया था कि अंग्रेजी जो है ये गुलामी है अंग्रेजी सीखना गुलामी क्या निशान है अभी दिमाग में भरा हुआ था So once I came back from his home, I remember the first thing I shouted very loudly. I love English. Oh my God! इतनी जोर से मैं चिल्लाया अगल बगल 2-4 घर थे उन लोगों ने खिड़कियां भी खोली है कौन चिल्ला रहा है करके जोर से चिल्लाया कि और मैं अब कर and that was the day I started speaking English. That was from that very moment. After that, Mohammed, you will understand very well. मेरा एक APTC का हवलदार था. I still remember his name, गुरुचरण सिंह, CHM गुरुचरण सिंह. और अब मैं सभी से अंग्रेजी में बात करता था. He used to get seized off. Whom are you trying to show up? And he punished me very badly. One day, इतना punishment दिया मैं पूरा दिन भर चक्कर ही लगाता रहा. तो then I realized यार you shouldn't speak to English to everybody. पहले मैंने बना लिया था मैं हिंदी बोलूंगा ही नहीं. मैंने कहा भैया ये गलत रूल बना दिया तूने अपने लिए इंग्लिश उसी से बोलो जो समझता है जो ऐसा नहीं करेगा आपको तो फिर then I used to generally look around I became little sensible so used to speak among us but can you believe it again cleared the written exam within 4.5 months exactly I went for the SSB again now in Bangalore I still remember the date 25th of March 1980 and oh my God appeared as a Jawan again and the deputy president interviewed me I did very well in everything And can you believe it? The deputy president gave me the best compliment. I still remember his compliment. He said, Bhakuni, I know you are from Uttarakhand. You are a recruit in the army. But tell me, how did you pick up this good English? Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. Look at that. It was one of the best compliment I have ever got. मैंने कहा एक बंदा ये 4 महीने से मैं सीख रहा हूँ ये लैंग्वेज और ये बोलता है कि हाउ डिड यू पिक अप दिस यू आर फ्रॉम अ विलेज you are a recruit, but how did you pick up this good English? I knew कि I'm going to pass this SSB, and since I had done very well, I not only passed, later the merit came, I was 34th in the merit. So I had
Wow.
cleared the SSB. So it was a very, very, enjoyable journey if I look back. And, the best part, Mohammed, one of the most memorable day. Look at this. Can you believe in 1977, I had joined the army in apprentice training school, as I told you, 28 September. Can you believe in 2017, exactly after 40 years, I went to the same academy as a general. You know, look at this. So I went, though, that journey going through the same thing, it was all deserted, where I used to go to the picture hall, my barrack, the thing, where we used to do front rolls, back rolls, and all those, funny, funny things. So I saw that it was a
Now, how
great
many years did
experience.
you serve? How many years were you there as a recruit, as a Jawan, before you
Huh,
went for your training as an officer?
yeah, it was 2 years, 8 months. See,
Okay.
September 77, I had joined, and 1st July 2018, I was in academy. I mean, so my training had started on 1st of July. I left somewhere end of June. So it was September to June. I didn't complete even 3 years of training because मैंने क्या बताऊं आपको वहां मेरे दोस्त had I been there in apprentice training school, my dear, I would have got relegated. बिकॉज मैंने
Oh.
कभी वो टेक्निकल एजुकेशन में ध्यान नहीं दिया, स्पोर्ट्स खेलता रहा, और दूसरा मैंने कभी वो बुक्स नहीं बनाई थी और मुझे आता नहीं था कुछ, सच बता रहा हूँ।
Hmm.
वो करना जो है, आई वाज सपोज्ड टू बी ए व्हीकल इलेक्ट्रिशियन, तो मेरे को इलेक्शन का सारा स्क्रू ड्राइवर पकड़ना भी नहीं आता था, टू बी ऑनेस्ट, बिकॉज मेरा फोकस ही नहीं था वो। और मैंने कहा कोई बात नहीं, मैं रेलीगेट हो जाऊंगा, अच्छा है मेरे लिए। और लोग डरते थे, रेलीगेट होने से डरते थे, और आई वाज वेटिंग टू गेट रेलीगेटेड। मैंने कहा यहाँ से जाना है आई में। so it was like that, yeah, very, very interesting, but most enjoyable. I remember apprentice training school days so well, and let me tell you, Mohammed, it was one of the best institution of the Indian Army. Government after that, इसको disband कर दिया, because can you why? Because virtually every third chap used to get commission from here. The school was so
Okay.
good. It was like a sainik school, yeah. It was
Also,
like
sir,
that's
also
why.
क्योंकि जाहिर सी बात है, वहां पे पढ़े लिखे लोग ही जा रहे हैं वहां पे
Yes.
to make it there, sir.
Can you believe it? Today there are nearly 300 apprentices got the commission. 300 of them. I may be saying little less. It will be more than that. There is a huge group. Still, we have 4 or 5 groups. In your Gurgaon only. In your Gurgaon only, we just had ex-apprentice get together just about 2 months before. I had attended that. When I had gone for Joe's talk, I had gone. I was one of the guests there, and
Amazing, sir.
we were there.
Sir.
I was the only general officer from that academy. There were 3 brigadiers. You can imagine.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
3 brigadiers. When I was attending, there were 3 brigadiers. There were about 20, 30 officers. In Gurgaon only it was done. So, apprentice training school was one of, that's the reason I don't know, government took an unwise decision, because they said it is not an officer making factory. It is basically technical soldiers, but people are becoming officers from here. Look at that. That was perhaps the reason. And God willing, ऐसी academy होनी चाहिए Indian Army में. And one other lesson I learned in the Indian Army is, which develops love for this green uniform. Look, even as a Jawan, even as as a recruit, see, the Indian Army, our great Indian Army, gives you a chance to become an officer. And yet there are no biases. Look at that, because I have gone through the whole journey. Biases may be in our mind. You have to be good. That's all. And you have to be proud of yourself. That's all. So see this, what, in which place you get a chance to reach to the highest rank of a journal or in any other service. It may not happen. It happens only in the army. So many Jawans get commissioned. So many Jawans become officer. So many Jawans become GSOs and this thing. That's the greatness of our Indian Army. It is, gives you such wonderful chance. Yeah.
So had you not been from this apprentice school, I mean, तो जाहिर सी बात है यहाँ पढ़े लिखे लोग ही आते हैं यहाँ पे. समथिंग लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल जब मैं ओटी में था तो बहुत से लोग एयरफोर्स के एमएन आए थे ओटीए में कमीशन होने के लिए. इनफैक्ट आवर स्वॉर्ड ऑफ ऑनर वाज एन एमएन इन द एयरफोर्स. वो ही वाज द
Oh
टॉप
my God.
पोस्ट. यस यस,
Look at
ही
that.
वाज द स्वॉर्ड ऑफ ऑनर. जी सर.
And my dear Mohammed, can you believe it? One of my inspiration was one of the apprentice. I still remember his name, and he's a retired brigadier. He's in Delhi. You'll meet him in Gurgaon. Brigadier Romil Daya. He's from Kumaon Regiment, and he was a sword of honor in 1976. He was our ex-apprentice.
वाओ.
76, June 16th, he got a sword of honor. His photograph used to be hanging in our library. And when I joined ATS, I looked at him and I thought, okay, next to you will be my photograph. Look at that. So, we had great, inspiring personalities. So, Brigadier Romal Daya was another inspiring. Imagine being an apprentice, a recruit, rising to the rank of brigadier and getting a sword of honor is not a joke. So that's what was his achievement.
सर अनुमान तौर पे भी, even if you join directly to the academy and you get a sort of honor, I have seen very rarely, I have seen sort of honors rising up to very senior rank for some reason. So
Yeah.
I mean, this is this itself is like a huge thing. It is a huge thing. So tell me about, as the president of the SSB board. So जब आप वहां पे गए थे, how was the feeling and how was the experience? Because today you are helping out so many people to crack the SSB and youngsters swear by your name, sir.
No, thank you so much. Thank you so much. This is the passion. Again, this is the passion because anything which you do with a passion, there is, people may say anything. One should never bother about that. So I was passionate about it. I will tell you why. When I wanted to become an officer, can you believe those days? Oh my God. Nobody to guide, whom to ask. What is SSB? How to become an officer? What is the thing there? Because nobody used to appear and whom to ask. So this was the biggest problem I faced. And even the guidance in the apprentice training school was also limited because you have hardly any access to the officers, as I told you. And JSOs, Jawans do not have that kind of knowledge. So I realized this factor in my life. Had I got the guidance, the journey would have been far better and easier. So those days it was not even Google, not even YouTube, nothing of this sort. सो आई मेरे को बहुत मुश्किलात का सामना करना पड़ा जस्ट टू नो यार हाउ टू बिकम एन ऑफिसर. यार कोई बता तो दो यार क्या होता है, यही पता नहीं था. बड़ी मुश्किल से अंत में एक बुक खरीदी सीडीएस की, तब थोड़ा थोड़ा तो आइडिया हुआ. तो ये इससे, और आई थॉट कि यार ये हमारे इतने कुमाऊं उत्तराखंड के लोग तो वैसे ही बेचारे फौज के लिए पागल हैं, लेकिन कोई गाइड करने वाला नहीं. तो मैंने उसी समय सोचा था, आप विश्वास नहीं करेंगे इस चीज को, कि आफ्टर रिटायरमेंट आई एम गोइंग टू बिकम ए कोच. अब नाउ दो चीजें बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग से बताऊंगा मैं आपको. एज ए कर्नल I made a presentation for myself. How will be my future academy?
Wow.
Now I was a BGS of 15 corps. You can imagine Srinagar. And my GOC told me, Bhakuni, I can't spare you for this interviewing officers course.
Who was the
Can you
GOC, sir?
believe it? I said, sir, I am foregoing my annual leave. Please allow me to go.
Who was the GOC, sir?
GOC, we had wonderful. He is the governor of Uttarakhand now.
Of course.
Yeah.
Singh. Sir,
जनरल गुरमीत थे.
हमने साथ में बहुत टीवी पे पैनल्स पे डिस्कशन करे थे पहले.
हाँ,
काफी.
a wonderful Well,
Very
it
good.
is an honor to serve under such great personalities. He was
My
not only
parents
my
just met him,
my
sir. My
co-commander
parents
there.
just met him in Dehradun a few days back. And incidentally, interestingly, sir, General Gurmeet Singh and I, we have the same house in the same building in Gurgaon in sector 95. AWHO का plot है. Though he's governor of
Oh,
Uttarakhand, उनका शांति विहार में घर है उनका. He has a flat and we
okay.
have a flat in the same building, sir.
Correct, correct. A
Wonderful person.
great man, highly
Wonderful person.
motivated,
Assam
and I
Rangers.
had a great fortune of serving under him when I was the Delta Force commander. Again, as a GOC, it was the second time I was serving. He said कि यार इधर से बड़ा मुश्किल है तुमको स्पेयर करना. So and what I requested him. He was such a magnanimous person. मैंने कहा सर मैं annual leave नहीं जाऊंगा. Since my family was staying with me, तो annual leave की जरूरत ही नहीं. I didn't go. Can you believe it? I sacrificed my annual leave. Instead of 1 month, can you believe it? 2 months together. I had a brief casual leave. That's all. And it was that kind of thing. And because of that, I attended this course, interviewing officer courses. So, and not very many people volunteers for this kind of course. I was very keen to do it. And once I did it, there also one has to give a lecture. And in that lecture, I clearly showed my future plan is to open an academy and guide the youth of the country. In fact, all those people who are attending the course from different arms and services, some of them got shocked. So openly I said, Manaka, I'm very clear in my dream that I'm going to an academy after the tenure of the commandant so that I can guide the youth better. So this was the lecture I gave there, and people still remember that. All those who had done the course, yeah, Bhakuni, you said that, and you are exactly doing that. So I said, "Ki this is again a passion, a love, and whenever there is a passion, you don't have to really work. Your passion makes you enjoy the journey." Yeah.
Sir, that's so inspiring, sir. That's so inspiring. Sir, what is tell me post-retirement, sir? You are a very successful entrepreneur now. And our viewers would want to know when did you retire, sir? Though you know it, I know it for our viewers. And uske baad your journey thereafter into SSB coaching and such things, sir.
Every day is wonderful and beautiful. See, once I retired, thereafter the dream was already making up in my mind. So we had an adventure park in Bangalore. I met the people concerned, and they said, "Ki after retirement, only within 6 months, I retired on 1st of July, 1st of September. Can you believe it? Because there was an adventure park here before only. And on 1st of September, we started the academy just after about 4 months. Initially, can you believe it? In the first course, there were two guys. Second, there were six. Third, there was eight. Then seven, eight, seven, eight. Oh my God. And thereafter, we started getting flooded. Virtually the number we didn't had the accommodation 40, 50. We increased the accommodation 60, 70. We increased the accommodation 80, 90. We increased the accommodation 100 it crossed. So we had a difficult time in accommodating more and more and more candidates. So once you come here, it's worth seeing academy. Now, I am running three things here. The first is the SSB Short Short Academy, which is a passion for me. Second is one of the largest adventure park in Bangalore, which is called Eagles Unbound. If you see, you name a corporate, you'll find our customer. Infosys, TCS, Wipro, Accenture, they're all executives come here and get trained with us in team building. You just have to see Google Eagles Unbound. So you'll be amazed. So that is, nobody knows ki that is a far greater job you are doing, training the youth of the country. Team building in the corporates, leadership qualities in the corporates, they come for 24 hours, 48 hours. And on top of that, you name a top college of Bangalore, any top college, their students would have come here in the academy. Whether it is called Christ College, whether, any college. So their all branches have come at a time. You know how many come? 150, 220 तक वो आते हैं. अभी हमारे वहाँ यही अमेजोन ग्रुप के बंदे आए थे, 220 एग्जीक्यूटिव आए थे अमेजोन के। सो इतने लोग आते हैं अभी यहाँ। डीपीएस स्कूल विच इज द बेस्ट स्कूल, so many branches, can you believe it, 1800 children over about 14 odd days, because every day 120 150 used to come. So now our adventure park is full. What do we teach them? We teach them third class to sixth class. We teach them farm to fork. We have a huge 28 acres farm. We have cows here. We have, you name a bird, we have here. We have mules here. So they see these birds, they see this, and they see ki how the plantation is done, how the vegetable is grown, how this vegetable from the farm reaches to their plate. So this journey is, they are apprised. And seventh onwards, we get them in the adventure activities. There are 27 adventure activities, including firing, including archery, high rope, wall climbing, you name a thing, mind games, army adventure, junior obstacles and senior obstacles. So all this the civilians do. You know, zip line particularly is a very, very popular. And there are numerous mind games, team building games. So we do these games and we take them out on a adventure track. So this is what is keeps us busy. Beside that, SSP is a regular phenomena. Every month we run three courses, first, 11th, and 21st. And the course is of 12 days, and it is a very intense course. Can you believe it? 6 o'clock the routine starts, and 8:30 they finish. They get tired really, because this 12 days course is equivalent to 3 weeks course. So, you know, one has to come and see this. So we are running these two. And the third one we started not very, just about 7 to 8 months before, that is
Agniveer.
Agniveer. So
Yes.
these three things we are doing now. So number one, which is doing a good business, is Eagles Unbound and SSV. Neck to neck, they are running, and Agniveer is yet to take off properly.
Sir, that's great work, sir. That's great work. And sir, which year did you retire? Which month?
Oh, I retired on 30th of June 2018.
Sir, 30th June 2018, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, also would like to know your experience with because they have been, when I was a youngster, as a young lieutenant, I was at the line of control with in support of 14 Dogras was there, and I was the GPO there from the Regiment of Artillery, and of course your previous EME, sir, EME का तो LRW और artillery का तो रिश्ता बना रहता है.
Yeah.
So, but sir, and the commanding officer at that time today is a general officer, and I have seen some very illustrious generals from the Dogra regiment. In fact, I had the honor of serving as the ADC to GOC 3 Corps. That time, General MS Dadwal
Okay.
uh,
Yeah.
was the GOC. I served under him very, very briefly as the ADC. Thereafter, I got sidestepped to the Assam Rifles. So, did you ever serve with General Dadwal, sir?
I met him, never had the opportunity, one of the illustrious journal of Indian Armed Forces. But I will tell you very interesting, since you said you did you serve. I had a very interesting opportunity, not with one, to serve with two journals. That is General Vipin Rawat, who became later our CDS, and General M.M. Narwane.
Of course.
Look at that. We three, can you believe it? What a great opportunity it was. General Narwane, myself, and General Bipin Rawat, we three were together as brigadiers in Army War College, Mau. And what a great opportunity. General Bipin Rawat, what a dynamic person he had. And let me tell you, and numerous opportunities I had to interact with him. Initially as a brigadier, and thereafter, he came as a Southern Army commander. Since he knew me very well because we had served together, so he came in the Southern Command. Every time he used to come to Bangalore. So, on my request, can you believe it? He changed his schedule once he came to the Bangalore first time. He spent about 2 hours with me in my SSB center, Bangalore. And what an interest! He was so keen on that. Because of that, I prepared a presentation which he wanted. He wanted why our Sainik schools are not doing well. So we did a study on that and gave him a presentation. Every time, then he became the chief. Again, he used to, take a lot of interest in that. Whenever he will come to Bangalore, and definitely we will have couple of wherever he will be called, he will send a message to me, and I used to attend. So we had a great association with General Vipin Rawat, particularly when he visited the our SSB center, interacted multiple times. And General Narwane was an intellectual, another intellectual kind of chief. We had a great person again, very simple, down to earth man as a brigadier. Can you believe it? We used to travel together sometimes in the same staff car. They're in Bangalore. They're in Mau as a brigadiers because we three were brigadiers together. They were senior. I was the junior most brigadier. So it was a great. So serving with them was a very interesting thing. Particularly General Vipin Rawat, I used to like him very much because of his dynamism. He will never bother what people say. He will give his opinion, irrespective of people's criticism, whatever he thinks right. And let me tell you, he will go into detail. Some of the people may not like his thinking. They may, disagree with him. But he also had a reason to say. He used to think of a long term. See, this Agniveer kind of program, people may blame him for that. Some people, I see there a lot of criticism on that, but only the time will tell. Ultimately, you need such kind of schemes also. See, your short service scheme for officers, if it can be for officers, why not? It can be for Jawans. Though I will be criticized for this kind of statement, but government should have done it, taking both the schemes together, perhaps. You
I
know,
agree with you, sir. In
ah,
fact, me being a short service officer, मैं
yeah.
तो with a conscious mind, I joined the army. Today people ask me, अरे फौज क्यों छोड़ दी, नौकरी क्यों छोड़ दी? मैं कहा पहली बात तो वो नौकरी नहीं थी. It was a way of
Yeah,
life. पहली बात तो
correct.
मैं नौकरी करने नहीं आया था भैया. अगर नौकरी
Say
करने
that.
जाया होता तो I would have done an MBA and worked and I was already working with Genpact at that time. Genpact was one
Yeah,
of the leading brands, the leading multinational companies of the world. But
correct,
I
correct.
chose to put in 5 years of my youth to the army. So I
Quite
think it's a
right.
very, very good scheme. I think it's a, and
Yeah,
I was motivated. Genuinely, I was motivated, sir. तो मेरे को वो
yeah,
तजुर्बा लेना था
definitely.
अपने साथ.
Yeah,
Sir. And so you spoke about General Bipin Rawat. Sir, he commanded 3 corps, जहाँ पे मैं ADC रह चुका था 3 corps का.
correct. Yeah,
So when he was commanding 3 corps, and I had left the army, of course, and I had gone for some official work with the company I was working to Guwahati. That तब मैं वहाँ पे गया था दीमापुर और कोहिमा. And Diyapur, I had the fortune of having dinner with General Bipin Rawat and Mrs. Rawat. And that time he told me one thing. He told me that his father was a lieutenant general. His father was the deputy chief of the army staff. So we were laughing over that. So he said, उसके लिए normally they say ना the generation should be 2 steps ahead of the father तभी पीढ़ियां आगे बढ़ती हैं.
correct.
तो फॉर दैट मैटर ही वुड हैव हैड टू बिकम द चीफ, मगर ऐसा कुछ है था नहीं उस टाइम पे, ऐसा कुछ था नहीं.
Yeah,
And
you're
he said
right.
I had a good laugh over it and that's about it. But when he
Yeah,
became the army commander in Pune, तब once again I called on him, sir. We kept in touch throughout. फिर वो chief बने, I once again congratulated him. जब वो CDS बने, I once again congratulated him, not just in person but on air. तब मैं टेलीविजन पे बात कर रहा था और on air, and he sent me a very nice message at that time. I heard you congratulating me. Thank you very much, Ali. तो बड़े अच्छे तरीके से sir. And one more thing, sir, have you served with General Widge? I want to know, sir.
oh, very much. General Wedge, again, a very illustrious Dogra officer. I think one of the finest Dogra achieve has been given by the Dogra regiment. He was the DGMO, and I was in the army headquarters in the Edmund Corps as a lieutenant colonel. So many times we used to interact, particularly, the Adamant Court is basically organizing parties for these foreign delegations, for defense minister, for army chief particularly. So as a DGMO, he used to be invited in all the parties, so we used to have interaction. Later, he became our colonel of the regiment. So multiple times we had this kind of interaction. So another very illustrious personality of the Dogara regiment. Many interactions I had with him, memorable ones.
Sir,
Yeah.
that's really nice, sir. It's been so inspiring and so intriguing being in conversation with you. और सर 1 घंटा आपके साथ ऐसे बीत गया कि बिल्कुल मालूम नहीं पड़ा सर. Sir, I sincerely thank you for your time. And sir, before we part, I know you're busy, and before I let you go, sir, any last message you would like to give to the youth of our country, sir?
Surely, my dear Mohammed, firstly, it was also very, very enjoyable for me. Whenever it is interaction to the youth, I always volunteer rather. Here, hardly there may have been any college where I have never been as a guest speaker. I never say no, either online or otherwise. My only message to them is they need to be absolutely clear about their goal in life. Unfortunately, some of the youth, I generally interact with them, take a lot of interviews online also. I train them still for the SSB. I find their purpose is not clear, their aim is not clear, their goal is not clear, their intention is not clear. Till the time you show the intention like a seed in your mind, oh my God, it will not grow into a tree. So they remain confused about their goal. That is the worst thing I've seen. Because, this is experience as an interviewing officer. आर्मी अफसर बनना, चलो किसने बताया, कर ली थोड़ा बहुत तैयारियां, चले गए, फिर कुछ और है, फिर कुछ. That is not the way. And once you have the intention, my God, it is a deep rooted intention. The passion will start in having, you will start having passion for that. The second thing is passion for your goal. Oh my God, if you have the passion, let me tell you, the remaining thing will come automatically. The third thing, otherwise, is planning and action. You got to plan for your intention. The writing the diary helps it here. Write down your goal, man. Every day, guy who writes his goal 3 times in his diary, I can bet it is law of universe he will achieve this goal. It is my advice to them. Open a diary, call it grateful diary or anything. Write down 3 things you are grateful for in life. You will become positive and lively. Write down your goal in this. So plan for that goal and action, because there are some people good in planning but they never take action. So planning and action should go hand in hand. And the fourth thing I will say, since you have given me time, is, my dear, it is your commitment for the goal. If you have the commitment, that is where the failures do not matter. Even if you fail, so what? It becomes a learning experience. A guy who is committed will rise with lessons learned and with greater resolve. That's the difference between a committed man. Failures will not affect him. And the fifth quality, in case they can inculcate in them, is having faith. My God, today's generation is not having faith in the God. You may believe in any religion. See, we just constructed a mandir here. We call it Sarv Dharma Sthal. Abhi just in the SSB Short Short Academy at the gate. उसमें जो है सारे धर्मों का जैसा फौज में सिस्टम है, सेम थिंग, ऑल द इंसिग्नियाज आर देयर. इनफैक्ट पीपल वर आस्किंग, मैंने कहा नो, इट हैज टू बी सर्व धर्म स्थल. So you may believe in any God, but have a faith in the God and have faith in yourself. Because having greater faith in the God will boost your faith in your own self, in confidence in your own self. And the last sixth lesson, if they can write it down, let me tell you, that is the having a positive attitude in life. Okay, and that you will develop by this grateful diary. These 6 lessons, in case they follow this, can you believe I am giving them 6 months of time only? Just 6 months, because the subconscious mind also takes a little time, because subconscious mind understands the language of repetition and practice. Repeat, 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 repeat. It will become part of your habit. Whether good habit you make, whether bad habit you make. So 6 months, if they do this, think about these 6 things, write down in their diary, write down their goal, write down their program. I can guarantee, I can shine and guarantee their success. Because I have seen life getting transformed here in this academy. So many success stories. मेरी स्टोरी कुछ नहीं उनके सामने. There are such stories with me here. Someday this will also come like a book. There are students I have seen that life changing in 3-4 months of time, just because they follow their intention with passion. Thank you. What a pleasure, Mohammed Ali Shah. Yaar, we should meet sometime. Okay. With this
Yes, sir.
promise, I'm letting you go that we are going to meet. And whenever you come to Bangalore, come over. We have wonderful accommodation guest rooms here in my academy. There are 5-6 guest rooms, and you can come and spend some time with us. Thank
Thank you,
you.
sir.
And
Very
grateful
kind of
for
you,
you
sir.
to have given this great opportunity. Thank you, my dear.
Sir, thank you for taking your time for me, sir. Really very kind of you. Thank you very much, sir. Jai Hind, sir.
Jai Hind. Now I don't know how to switch it off, यार. आप कर लो इसको.
मैं करता हूँ, sir. मैं करता हूँ.
Okay,
Rumal is
thank
there,
you
sir.
so much. Yeah,
I'm just going off air. Just going off
yeah.
air, sir.
Thank you.